Peyton Farquhar was a well-to-do planter of an whole and high respect Alabama family, being a slab owner, unlike others of owner and politician. He was naturally an original, sectionist, and ardently devoted to the Southern cause. Circumstances of an imperious nature, which it is unnecessary to relate here, had prevented him from taking service with the gallant army which had fought the disastrous campaign ending with the fall Korean and the shafted under inglorious restraint, longing for the result of his energy. The layers live at the soldier the opportunity of our discussion, that opportunity he felt would come as it come to all in wartime. Meanwhile he did what he could. No service was too humble for him to perform in the aid of the South, no adventure too perilous for him to undertake, inconsistent with the character of a civilian who was a soldier, and who, in good faith and without too much qualification, assented to at the last a part of Franklin Villanus discussed at all his fire in love and work and war. One evening while Farquhar and his wife were studying of a rustic beyond near the strands to his grown um, to his one class soldier rode up to the gate and asked for a drink of water. Master Farquhar was only too happy to serve him with her own little hands while she was facting the water. Her husband approached this dusty horseman and inquired eagerly for New Frank the front. The young are repairing the railroad, said the man, and are getting ready for another advance. They have reached the old crab British put to put it in order and boil stockade on the northern bank. The commandant has used another which is posted everywhere, declaring that any civilian cause interfering with the railroad, its bridge, tunnels, or trains will be summarily hanged. I saw the other. How far is the of is it to the old great British? Farquhar asked. About 3 miles. 30 miles. Is there no force on this side of the creek? Only a picket post half a mile out on the railroad and single sentinel at this end of their bridge. Suppose, said a man, a civilian, and student of hanging shoulder along the picket post, and perhaps get the better of the sentinel, said Farquhar. Similarly, and what could be he accomplished? The soldier reflected. It was there a month ago. He replied, I observed that the fruit of the last winter has low together. adequate quantity of driftwood. Again, don't again the wooden pier at his and the British it is no dry and will burn like tinder. The light the lady the lady has no row the water which the soldier drank. He thanked her ceremoniously bowed her husband and rode away. And other ladder and over ladder after nightfall, her repassed the plantation going northward in the direction from which he had come. He was a Federal scout. As, Pe- as Peyton Farquhar fell started downward through the bridges he had lost consciousness and was as one already dead from this state. He was awakened. As later it seemed to him by the pain of the surge pressure of his throat, followed by a sense of suffocation, keen, poignant, agonist, seemed to shoot from his neck downward through every fiber of his body and limbs. The spines appeared to along while the final lines of ramification and the vid with inconceivably rapid periodicity. They seem like streams of pulsating fire hitting him to an intolerable temperature as to his head. He was consequence of nothing but a feeling of fullness, of consequent congestion. The sensation were unaccompanied by thought. The intellectual part of his nature was already affected. He has power only to feel, and feeling was torn. He was consequence of my motion encompassed in a luminous cloud, of which he was no merely the fair hair. Without material substance, he is wound through unthinkable art of oscillation like a vast the pendulum. Then all the ones with terrible suddenness, the light about him shot upward with the noise of a loud splash. A frightful roaring was in his ear, and all was cold and dark. That power and thought was restored. He knew that the rope had broken and they had fallen into the stream. There was no additional strangulation. Their nose about his neck was already suffocating him and kept the water from his load to the of hating hugging at the bottom of the river. The idea seemed to him ludicrous, how opening his eye in the darkness, and saw about him a gleam of light, but how distant, how inaccessible. He was still seeking for for the light become finder and finder until it was a mere glimmer. Then it began a throw and bridge, and he knew that he was racing toward the surface. Now in was reluctance, for he was not very comfortable to be hugged and thrown. He thought that is not so bad, but it don't. But I don't know which to be shot. No, I will not be shot. That is not far. He was not conscious of a effort, but a sharper pain in his rib, and appreciated that he was trying to free his hand. He gave the shoulder high attention, and Hitler might observe the fear form of a juggler without interested in the outcome. What's planning for what magnificent, what superhumans, stranger. Uh, that was a fine endeavor, endeavor, bravo. The cord fell away, his arms parted and flew out of work. The hands dimly seen and each on each side. In the throwing lay, he watched them with a new interest as a fierce one, and the other opponents pounced upon the nose, at the neck, the neck. They tore it away and threw it fiercely aside. Its undulation resembled those of a warrior's neck. Put it back. He thought he showed this word to his hand, for the ending of the noose had been succeeded by the dearest pang that he had yet experienced. His neck ached horrible. His brain was on fire. His heart, which had been fluttering, fighting, gave a great laugh, trying to force itself out at his mouth. His whole body was rocked and crushed with an insupportable anguish. But his disobedient hands gave on heed to the command. They beat the water vigorously with kid downward stroke, forcing him to the surface. He felt his head emerge. His eyes were blinded by sunlight. His shed expanded compulsive, and with a Superman crying agony, his long and gold-fed a great throw of air, which instantly he expelled in a shriek. He was now in full possession of his physical senses. They were in a deep, preternaturally keep and alert. Something in the whole disturbance of the organic system had so exalted, and refine them that the made record of this thing never before perceived. He felt their replies upon his face and heard their separate sound as they struck. He looked at the forest on the bank of the stream, saw the individual trees. The leaves and the beginning of each leaf. He saw the very insects upon them, the locusts, the brilliant bodied flies, the gray spiders stretching their webs from tree to tree. He knew the prismatic colors in all the in all the though in all the drops upon a million blades of grass. The humming of the ants, the ants that danced about the areas of the stream, the verging of the dragon feelings winds, the stroken strokes strokes of the waters by the leg with like oars which had lifted their boat. All this made audible musica fish slid along beneath his eyes, and he heard the rush of his body parting the water. He had come to the surface, facing down the stream in a moment that the visible world seemed to whirl slowly around himself the pivotal point, and he saw the fourth disorder upon the bridges. The captain, the sergeant, to prevent his scrutineers, they were in seal hotel again to blue sky. They showed an gesticulated point at him. The captain had drawn his pistol, but did not fire. The others were unarmed. Their movement was grotesque and horrible, their form gigantic. Suddenly he heard a sharp report and something struck the water smartly within a few inches of his face. His head spattering his face with pride. He heard a second report and saw on one of the sentinels with the fear his rifle at his shoulder, a light cloud of blue smoke rising from the muzzle. The men in the water saw the eye of the man of the bright gazing into his own through the sight of the rifle. He observed that it was a gray eye, and remembered having read that rays were Agnes. Eyes were Agnes, and that all famous marksmen had them. Nevertheless, this one had missed. A counter swirl had caused Farquhar, and turning him half around, he was again looking at the forest of the bank opposite. Therefore, the sound of a clear high voice in a monotonous sing-song. no ran out behind him and came across the water with a distinctness that pierced and subdued all over sound. Even the vein of the reply in his ears, although not so dear, he had frequented camps enough to know the dread significance of the deliberate draws aspirate chant. Delinquents, the chant, the lieutenant, one George was taken apart in the morning's wars, who coldly and pitilessly, with what an even come intonation, precising on the foreign and forcing tranquility in the man with the what accurately and measured interval felt those cruel words. Company, attention, show arms, ready, aim, fire. Farquhar devised as deeply as he could. The water rushed in his hair like the boys and Niagara, yet he heard the dull thunder of the foliage and rising again toward the surface made shining beat the metal singularly flattened, oscillating slowly downward. Some of them touched him on the face and hand. The followers continued their descent on lodges between his collar, and neck. It was uncomfortably warm, and he snatched it out. As he rose to the surface, gasping for the breath. He saw that he had been a long time underwater. He was perceptibly farther down a stream, near to safety. The soldier has them almost finishes rolling the mail ram rods. Flashed all the noise, all the want, flashed